In the advent of potential anti-corpo legislations brought by the arguably successful Stop Killing Games movement, Electronic Arts are scrambling to get rid of any game on their live service library that could potentially leak funds from the company if any noteworthy pro-consumer laws gets passed. Not long after the news of the Anthem server shutting down in 2026, EA has recently announced that they are permanently shutting down 4 more live service games from their library. Particularly NHL 21, NFL 22, FIFA 23, and sadly, Need for Speed Rivals will have their servers shut down within this year 2025. It is unclear whether these games will remain in a somewhat playable state after these servers shut down, but considering how EA is clamoring to get these game servers shut down, I highly doubt that they would bother modifying these games to accommodate a single-player experience. Need for Speed Rivals was the first ever Need for Speed game from Ghost Games, a game development studio under EA that mainly worked on the Need for Speed franchise for almost a decade, starting with Need for Speed Rivals in 2013, all the way to Need for Speed Heat back in 2019 before Criterion retook the reins of the franchise for Need for Speed Unbound. And while Need for Speed Rivals wasn't exactly one of the best Need for Speed games, nor was it one of the worst, it was pretty mid, actually. Need for Speed Rivals is still a huge part of Need for Speed's history, and it's a shame to see it go, despite the fact that no one is playing the game anymore. If only Stop Killing Games movement happened back in the early 2010s, maybe we could have seen a once online-only Need for Speed Rivals be playable as a single-player experience, which would have given its player base the chance to at least go back and re-experience the game that they paid for whenever they wanted to. But that simply isn't the case here. These are games that will never see the light of day anymore, and any efforts to make such games playable by the community will only be deemed as a nuisance to this publisher, or worse, illegal. Now, I understand that with the Stop Killing Games movement, EA must have started realizing that its ship just has way too many holes in it, which they are now desperately plugging because they think Stop Killing Games is a movement to keep those holes open as wide as possible, when all Stop Killing Games are really asking for is for the games to be able to float on their own after end of service, without the publisher or the developer having to keep blowing air into it. But honestly, in the case of the EA Sports games, I think it doesn't really matter that they're sunsetting the older titles, especially considering how the gamers who play these games most likely just spend their money on the latest sports title anyway. But I shouldn't be the one commenting on this, really, since I haven't really played a single sports title in decades. But what do you think? Is it okay for these massive game companies to just outright remove a game from existence? Or is it just right that they should have an end-of-service plan to keep games such as these in a somewhat playable state? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But for now, bye-bye.
Get your shitty videos right here. Watch more, drop more views. We'll be back with more, so stay tuned to Revo Radio.